Hey, coming up next, we have artists who have, they handed out sketchbooks, okay? And artists had to fill these pages, and we get a sneak peek inside of those coming up. So
that's right. Very interesting.
Welcome back to Your Carolina. Now, this next segment we're going to talk about actually has roots all the way I start to say North Carolina, in New York City, as the commercial often screamed. It is something called the Sketchbook Project, where they sent out tens of thousands of these little sketchbooks and asked artists all around the country to be creative. You know, a blank canvas, which is what every artist longs for. They just don't want to see it there too long. Right. We have with us a couple of people who have taken this wonderful creative idea and I think somewhat by accident, maybe divine intervention, we have gotten a remarkable, heart-touching story. Let me introduce to you Marie Wilson Hardy. I was joking, we had a photo shoot earlier today. But it's wonderful to meet you. We were taking pictures earlier. Beside Marie is Tim Artis, and Tim, you ended up with a sketchbook in your hand.
Yes.
How did you get it?
My wife heard about this production, and you could sign up for it, and about 30,000 of them went out, 10,000 came back, and you were given 6 months to fill out 40 pages.
Wow.
Okay.
And for artists, that's, you know,
that's work, isn't it?
That's a lot of work, yeah.
Yeah.
So I decided to go simple and sketchy, and not do a lot of pre-work, just kind of do it as I did it.
Right.
And it started one way, and when I heard her story, the story took a whole nother turn, because I found out we had a living hero in our midst.
Tell us, Marie, tell us your story. How did you inspire Tim?
It was a total shock to me.
I want
heroes don't always know they're heroes.
I think that was the case here. She still doesn't think she's a hero.
This lady told me this morning, I don't know why I'm here. They told me to come. Okay, that's so you toot her horn a little bit, and then we're going to ask her some questions after that.
In England, where she was born and raised, the war was hitting in World War II, and when she reached about 18, I believe it was, she reports to the government, says, I want to join the Air Force, and they tested her and they said, no, we're going to put you in a super secret factory underground, and every day you're going to help build a plane. And they had to crank out one plane every day. And she was there for 2.5 years.
Royal Air Force.
12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And one time she got 36 hours off to shift from night to morning.
Right.
And then she met her husband, an American serviceman who was a belly gunner.
Well, that's a love story. That's a love story.
Yeah, marvelous. We lived 62 years together.
You're kidding. How marvelous.
And you live in Greer, South Carolina now? Yes.
How did you represent her pen on paper?
Just drew some cartoons.
Okay. I see her. I see her. Dressed up as a military lady.
There's also story. It's almost a book.
Yep. I basically turned it into a storybook about her trials and tribulations and all things she had to do. I was amazed that they did the call, and everybody just had to do the war effort at the time. They just had to do it.
How old were you again?
18.
18 years
when I went in to work in the underground aircraft factory.
Can you tell me what a day was like?
You had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, get ready, wash and dress, and have a bite to eat, and walk a mile to catch a bus. And then from one bus to another bus to another bus. 3 buses, and I'll get to work by 7 o'clock.
Were there many other ladies?
Mostly all ladies.
Well, that's kind of the beginning of women actually working in the workplace. Women going out to work,
yes.
Yeah.
Now, is this your particular book, your sketch is going to be on tour? I know it's not going to be here.
Yes, this is just a copy they made before they sent out. It's right now in Austin, Texas.
All right.
And then it'll go to, I think, Portland, Maine.
Well, let's explain when you say it's now in Austin, Texas. Of these sketchbooks selected, so yours was certainly, your story was touching, your art was incredible because it was selected. And so it's part of this tour that's going around the country. The closest one to us is?
Atlanta. It's going to be at the Granite House in Atlanta, which I think is downtown.
And you said it took you about 80 hours to do all your sketches? That's pretty fast, isn't it?
A lot of work.
I had to work quick. I got going really in November.
Timetable?
It had to be turned in by mid-January to make the show.
What brought you and your husband to Greer? Was he an American?
Yes, he's American, but we lived in Maine for 60 years.
Right.
And then...
And got cold and came south.
No, he couldn't drive anymore because of he had bad eyes, and so there was no one else in Maine to take care of us, and we were both retired. So I just called my daughter and asked her to find a place for us to live down here, and we moved down here.
Oh.
So she's
I've been down here 7 years now.
Well, good.
What part of the plane did you build in this underground?
I didn't actually build the plane at all. I just made those big screws.
She made the screws.
Well, it
Made
held
the
the
big
plane
machine
together.
that held it.
That had a big thing to do
That
with
was a
it.
big thing.
She had to crank out 1,000 screws a day.
Oh my
If
goodness.
the machine broke, she had to fix it.
Wow, so you're
Oh,
quite
it
the
was-
mechanic.
That sounds almost as important as the pilot. The screw that holds the
Yeah,
plane
they kind of like
together.
all the parts that stay together.
Absolutely. No kidding.
That's great.
Tim, it probably didn't take you long to realize, wow, I have an
I have
amazing story in
yeah.
front of me.
She's amazing, and she doesn't think so.
I know that. She's very modest. And I don't think we said this, but you guys met in church, right?
Right.
And should we say hello to that church?
Where do you
She's
go to
probably
church?
watching.
Trinity Bible Church.
Trinity Bible Church.
In Greer.
In Greer.
In Greer,
Well, I
yeah.
hope they're watching. I see what looks like fans over there.
We have an entourage. But, you know, fame,
Elvis didn't have anything on you guys.
That's right.
That's
Thank you
great.
so much for the
thank you
story.
very
much.
And
Thank you.
if this ever becomes available for other people
Right,
to
it's-
get, you let us know.
It's on Facebook and it's on the blog.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So people can see the whole thing.
So how do we go to Facebook to see it?
Timothy Artis, and then the blog spot is Tim Sketchbook at blogspot.com.
Artist, A-R-T-U-S.
Correct.
And
If
you
you'll
are an
look-
artist, A-R-T-I-S.
If you'll look on the screen, you'll see the blog website right there. That'll get you to it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so
We
much.
Thank
appreciate it.
y'all. Thank y'all.
Yep.